Hello, this is Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection Report for Wednesday, July 31, the War of the Words. Prominent California Islamists praise Imam's call to exterminate Jews. That's a headline from earlier this month by Sam Westrop. While waiting at the Ben Gurion Airport in Israel following his trip to Al-Ala Mosque in Jerusalem, California Imam Ahmad Billow, also known as Hidman bin Aslam, wrote on his private Facebook account that he was feeling annoyed at his location and offered a prayer to deal with the sufferance of Jews in the building. "Oh God," he writes, "reduce their numbers, exterminate them, and don't leave a single one alive." And then he added the hashtag Zionist. He seemed palpably relieved when he arrived in Istanbul, noting in a follow-up post, "So good to be in a Muslim country, hashtag tired of seeing Zionists." Billow is a prominent cleric in California and part of a prominent Islamic family. He has worked with the director of the Islamic Center of Cyprus and serves as a, quote, professor at the California Islamic University and a teacher at the Institute of Knowledge, a seminary that offers religious advice to Muslim students and trains the next generation of imams in America. Its faculty includes prominent clerics from the hardline Salafi and Debani strains of Islam. His history is deep and wide, with anti-Semitic tropes and preaching against Israel and Jews in general. The problem is that his particular set of tweets was also followed up by several amens by, Tahar Hezbollah, a senior official at the American Muslims for Palestine, Farhan Abul Aziz, an instructor at another seminary and a regular speaker at Islamic conferences, Mohammed Omer Siddiqui, an official at the Muslim American Society and now a colleague at the Institute of Knowledge, Abdel Hamid Ibrahim, a board member on California CARES chapter, Ahmad Al-Matwa, an administrator at a prominent Los Angeles Islamic school, and Delane Carter, who refers to himself as Event and Outreach Assistant at the CARE Los Angeles branch. So we have a multitude of Americans or people living and working in America who are espousing their support for the horrific statement and prayer that Billow had noted on his Facebook page. Anti-Semitic crimes, by the way, are up 21% in California, according to a report that was issued in early July by the California Department of Justice. 126 hate crimes were motivated by anti-Semitism in 2018 in California, up from 104 incidents in 2017. So I'm wondering where they might get their motivation and inspiration from. Where do these people that commit these crimes get their thought process? Nevertheless, thankfully, the U.S. current federal administration is continuing to engage and declare its support for Israel. Vice President Pence is committed to Israel and spoke in mid-July to the Christians United for Israel annual summit in Washington, D.C. Not only did he express his thanks to CUFI for his support when he was Indiana governor for passing anti-BDS legislation, and he noted several accomplishments, he also addressed the fact that the U.S. has an unwavering commitment to Israel. And in this speech, Pence made no bones going up against the Democrat Party. Now, the Red Alert Report is not a political vlog, but I have to call out politicians and groups where I see it. Traditionally, American Jewish population has identified as Democrat, much like in the UK, where British Jews were often registered as part of the Labour Party. Various reasons exist for this, but part of it is about the social welfare programs that the traditional left side of the aisle would initiate in the name of compassion, the various freebies, etc. And traditionally, this was not diametrically opposed to the foreign policy issues that would include support for Israel and for Israel to be our ally in the West and its right to exist and defend itself. But just like the Labour Party in the UK, the Democrat Party has been infiltrated, sadly so, by elected officials. And these people who do not share the original and traditional values that were on the left side of the political thought process in the UK and the US. And not just that, these so-called progressive seek to take a firm aim not only against Israel as a nation with no right to exist, but that it is committed as not an ally to the West. You know, Israel is the only nation in the Middle East to espouse the same values as the West, and we have to admit, some value systems are better than others. Now, that's a conversation for another day, but we have to at least note that the reason why we would debate things is because one thing is always better. Now, Pence made no bones calling out the U.S. Democrats. While discussing the idea of never again, Pence brought up the issue of AOC's use of the term concentration camp in her tweets about the borders. And he noted how it was an insult to American Jews and certainly devalues the real issue that had gone on in the Holocaust to politicize it for her own point. He denounced her statements, saying that law enforcement in the U.S. was in any way equatable to the Nazis. As well, he goes on to note that the Democrats not only fail to fight against anti-Semitism, they are in a way supporting anti-Semitism. He noted that not so long ago, Israel was a nonpartisan issue in American politics. And he goes on to say, quote, "But now things have changed. It's astonishing to think that the party of Harry Truman, which did so much to help create a state of Israel, has been co-opted by the people who promote rank anti-Semitic rhetoric and work to undermine a broad American consensus of supporting Israel." Then Pence goes on to accuse Ilhan Omar, another freshman Democrat, of disseminating anti-Semitic tropes when she tweeted in 2012 that Israel has hypnotized the world. This is after he spoke about AOC's tweets about concentration camps. And let me say this from my heart, Pence says, anti-Semitism has no place in the Congress of the United States of America or any place else in the nation, and anyone who slanders a historic alliance between the United States and Israel should not be sitting on a foreign affairs committee. Pence noted, as we all have talked about, that the Democrat Party used to be supported by a majority of Jews, and it should be noted that despite his blatantly anti-Israel politics, almost 70% of Jews voted for Obama in the 2012 election. Pence lamented that the party has become a haven for anti-Semitism. But the most astonishing thing of all, he says, as we talk about how times have changed, and the party that has been the home to so many American Jews for so long recently couldn't even muster the votes to unequivocally condemn an anti-Semitism resolution. Pence goes on to note as the biblical basis for U.S. being pro-policy. And we stand with Israel because we cherish the ancient promise that Americans have always treasured throughout our own history, that those who bless Israel will be blessed. Pence goes on to say, today and every day, the Jewish state of Israel and all the Jewish people bear witness to God's faithfulness as well as their own. Let our information disseminate around the Christian community, the Jewish community, and the community at large for the purpose of resounding the truth that cannot be hidden by the enemy, distorted or fogged by the enemy's agents, whether they're on college campuses, in parliamentary or congressional offices, or anywhere. Be vigilant. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.